Than any president in history, except for possibly Abe Lincoln with a big hat. I don't know about that.
At his campaign-style rallies, the president still unleashes the version of reality that his base clearly wants to see. During the campaign, his rhetoric invited violence.
Get him out! Get him out!
Which he frequently got.
I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
And in the White House, he's continued the attacks.
That's enough. Put down the mic. You are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
Casting the media as the tool of the elite.
They are the fake, disgusting news.
Whom he blames for holding down his followers.
There should be some standardized, transparent process by which candidates are evaluated.
I will faithfully execute the office of president.
A fundamental concern. Has Donald Trump fulfilled the presidential oath he took to uphold the U.S. Constitution?
So help me God. Congratulations, Mr.
It's just 35 words long, and his critics believe he began to violate it almost as soon as he finished speaking. Washington see that as a pipe dream. Others, a real possibility.
I love you. I love you, folks.
And there's a lot to know about Trump. His impulsivity and anger issues.
I'd blow up every single inch. There would be nothing left.
Like threatening North Korea with nuclear war.
They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
His grandiosity.
I'm very highly educated. I know words. I have the best words. I'm very rich. I'm really rich.
His pomposity.
Nobody knows much more about technology, this type of technology, certainly, than I do. I know more about ISIS than the generals do, believe me.
The walls closing in on him.
All the walls closing in on him.
The walls closing in on him.
Hearing the raised voices next door.
We begin tonight with the bombshell. Donald Trump is in a lot of trouble.
Trump is in trouble.
The president will resign.
And the denials that anyone else is involved.
I don't know Putin. I never met Putin. I have no dealings with Russia.
And inevitably, there's the feeling that our friends south of the border may be destined for a very nasty divorce from their president. Indeed, there are now 17 investigations into Donald Trump, his campaign, his inauguration, his corporation, his foundation, and more. The allegations against Trump personally include obstruction of justice, undermining democracy, breaking campaign finance laws, and of course, collusion with Russia.
I have no relationship with Putin. Never spoken to him. I don't know anything about him other than he will respect me.
Over and over, Trump denies any Russian connection.
I have no deal.
However, so far more than 30 individuals, including 26 Russians, have been charged by Special Counsel Mueller in his continuing investigation of Russian interference in the presidential election and related cases. Among them, former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort, campaign aide Rick Gates, Trump's former personal lawyer Michael Cohen, former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, campaign aide George Papadopoulos. Also indicted 12 Russian intelligence operatives and 13 Russian nationals.
I now call the House to order.
In Washington today, there's blood in the water, and Donald Trump's opponents are baring their teeth. The halls of Congress ringing with the chant that Trump has used for hecklers at his rallies. Get him out. With enthusiasm last heard in the Capitol 4 decades ago.
Resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
It was the summer of 1974 when Richard Nixon addressed Americans to announce his resignation, the first and so far only American president to quit.
Vice President Ford will be sworn in as president at that hour.
I think there are a lot of lessons to be learned from Watergate, a lot of similarities.
And year after the inauguration, 2018, White House physician Dr. Ronnie Jackson announced the results of the presidential medical.
Good afternoon, everyone.
President Donald J. Trump has completed his first periodic physical examination as President of the United States.
He said Donald Trump was not only in excellent physical health, but cognitive health as well.
A cognitive screening exam using the Montreal Cognitive Assessment was normal with a score of 30/30.
That was based on this. The cognitive assessment Donald Trump took. A single page with questions like, name these 3 animals. Read a list of 29 letters. Read a list of 5 numbers. And what date is it? And where are you?
The fact that the president got, 30 out of 30 on that exam, I think that, there's no indication whatsoever that he has any cognitive issues.
Narrowing of his vocabulary, he says things are the best or the worst or the best he's ever seen, the greatest. The number of adjectives that he uses, the way he describes things, it's changed over the years. And we have a really unique situation with Donald Trump in that you have audio and video of him decade after decade, which you can go back and compare.
And for those who've observed Trump over time, his patterns of behavior seem troubling.
As someone who watched Trump a lot and saw him both as a candidate and as a president, there's no way you can avoid the fact that this is a person who you would not classify as being mentally healthy. I think Trump is a person who has serious personality disorders, whose motivations are incredibly suspect, who probably doesn't have a high degree of personal morality. If he was a member of your family, you would have concerns.
But I say, how do you impeach somebody?
Rosenstein talked about possibly invoking the 25th Amendment.
Rosenstein has disputed and denied that report.
If Democrats take control of the House, they are going to be a subpoena-generating machine. This White House is going to find itself playing permanent defense.
Trump has been waging a deliberate war on the whole idea that there is such a thing as independent justice.
All we hear about is this phony Russia witch hunt. That's all we hear.
President Trump is escalating his assault on the investigators who are investigating him.
He's attacking the very nature of the Department of Justice.
The FBI, it is.
President Trump, the cloud, as he calls it, hangs over his entire presidency. That he doesn't really understand where it's going or what's coming next, and if it's coming for him.
No collusion, no nothing.
This president may feel empowered to move to either fireball Mueller, or fire Jeff Sessions, or fire Rod Rosenstein, or find some way to shut this investigation down.
The Trump's fate.
Fireworks on Capitol Hill.
Firestorm hovering over the White House.
It's under siege.
The stakes could not be higher.
Trump is talking to his top aides, and he views this as blackmail. It's a shakedown, he tells them. His assumption is that Comey is giving this to him to show him that he's got something on him.
You have to check, but you can't say that I give up very easily.
Mr. Trump asked you to threaten an individual or entity on his behalf?
Quite a few times.
50 times?
More.
100 times?
More.
200 times?
More.
500 times?
Probably. Because I know what Mr. Trump is. He is a racist, he is a con man, and he is a cheat.
Question. Logical liar. You don't know truth from falsehood.
Sir, I'm sorry. Are you referring to me or the president?
Hey, this is my time.
Are you referring to me or the president?
When I ask you a question, yes. I'll ask for an answer.
Sure.
Yeah, over and over again, we want to have trust. It's built on the premise that we're truthful, that we come forward. But there's no truth with you whatsoever. That's why that's important to you, to look up here and look at the old adage that our moms taught us. Liar, liar, pants on fire. No one should ever listen to you and give you credibility.
Putting up silly things like this, really unbecoming of Congress. It's that sort of behavior that I'm responsible for. I'm responsible for your silliness because I did the same thing that you're doing now for 10 years. I protected Mr. Trump for 10 years. Mr. Trump knew of and directed the Trump-Moscow negotiations throughout the campaign and lied about it. He lied about it because he never expected to win. He also lied about it because he stood to make hundreds of millions of dollars on the Moscow real estate project. You know what Mr. Trump is? He is a racist, He is a con man, and he is a cheat.
Mashagessen says it won't be the lies Donald Trump tells that really matter, but what he does as the 45th president of the U.S.